Hey you guys, I am Aubrey, mama of the Rod Squad. We have 7 kids and I am here to bring you some amazing dinners because they hit the 3 priorities of the Rod Squad house. And that is that they are incredibly quick, they are cheap, and they are healthy. Kabam! So before we dive into the recipes, let me know why you're here. What made you click on this video? Are you wanting to live a healthier life? Are you a frazzled mom who's wanting some really quick and easy dinners? Like, what is your motivation? Because I want to be here for you and with you, showing you that you can live a healthy lifestyle. Like, you can do it. I'm going to bring you some really quick, easy, and healthy dinner ideas. Tonight, I am hot and sweaty after a workout, and the hubby wants burritos, so we're gonna see how fast that goes. So I just started by sauteing some onions and bell peppers, but you could have used zucchini or any other number of vegetables. Now I'm making a space in my pan to add my ground beef so that I can mix that all up together. All right, so while my veggies and meat is cooking, I was gonna start heating up refried beans. I realized I'm out. Like, that's a staple, guys, a staple. We gotta have refried beans in the Rod Squad house, but not to fear, I've got some pinto beans and I've got a food processor, so I'm gonna try to make my own kind of refried beans. I started by draining some of the juices from the pinto beans. I put the rest into my food processor and just added a bunch of spices. And I blended it up until it was just a good consistency of like refried beans, but I didn't love the taste, so I went ahead and added some hot sauce, and that really helped the flavor. By the time I was done with the beans, the beef was finished cooking, so then I just added in a bunch of cumin, chopped onion, garlic, pepper, paprika, and chili powder for my own homemade version of taco seasoning. And we just added that all in, and then the next thing really took it to the next level. I added about half a can of tomato paste, and when I mixed that in with the meat and the veggies, it really just helped it hold together and gave it a lot of great flavor. You can see I've got the beans cooking back there. I only had one ripe avocado, sadly, but I've got all my fillings, and so I'm cooking the tortillas on the griddle and about to fill them on up. You can see it only took me 29 minutes, so right under 30 minutes I had these delicious, healthy burritos ready to serve and eat with my family. Tonight's dinner is sausage lentil soup. So tonight we are having sausage lentil soup. I am feeling very tired today, so I pulled out the Instapot, which is a huge lifesaver, and a couple other things that I try to do in advance and keep in the freezer that makes night like tonight not so challenging. So let me show y'all some of the things that I try to prep and have in the freezer for when you just really want a home cooked meal but you don't want to go through a lot of effort. So the first thing I do is I buy these big links of sausage from Costco, and I generally make 3 meals out of them. And so I just pre-cut them the way that I want them and freeze them in these bags. That way, not only are they already portioned out, they're already cut, and I know I'm gonna get the 3 meals that I was wanting. Then I got this idea from Trader Joe's, but I made a homemade version. These are little garlic and oil cubes. They're frozen. So I don't have to peel and chop garlic. It's already ready. I just blended up a bunch of garlic with some oil in my Vitamix and then froze them and cut them into cubes. So that is going to make this meal go really quickly. The only other things I'm needing are carrots, sweet potatoes. If I had celery, I would use it, but I don't. I'm going to put in a can of diced tomatoes and obviously the lentils, which I got for 49 cents, which was awesome, and homemade chicken broth. I love avocado oil. It is great to saute with because it is good for temperatures up to 500 degrees. So I just put it on the saute function and added in the pre-chopped frozen sausage. Then I got started chopping my veggies. So I start with the carrot, chop some onion, and the sweet potatoes. once the sausage is done cooking, I just removed it, but I kept the oil in there so that I can add my veggies and get all that delicious sausage flavor. Then I just added in my spices, some oregano and cumin, probably threw some salt in there. I just don't think that I showed it. Then I'm gonna put in that garlic and oil cube that I showed y'all from the freezer to add the garlic flavor. Once my veggies were slightly softened, I went ahead and added the entire bag of lentils. That's roughly 2.5 cups. You don't have to have that much if you don't feed quite as many people. Then I added in a can of diced tomatoes along with about 6 or 7 cups of homemade chicken broth. With all the prep work, I was at 24 minutes. So then I just put the lid on, went ahead and started it to 18 minutes. Now granted, this was not time that I had to stand in the kitchen and work. So once the pressure was released and I knew that it was ready, I went ahead and got some frozen spinach out of the freezer and just dumped that into the hot soup, stirred it around, and then finally I add the sausage back on top here at the very end. And then I serve up a delicious bowl of lentil soup. Hello, another super quick dinner. It's Sunday night here and we're trying to get dinner done quick. We're actually gonna have a little fake birthday for our little mister here because I know life was crazy around his birthday and we never got to officially doing birthday. So Isa and Amaya made cupcakes, so we're gonna eat dinner and then do a little pretend birthday. Wonder. We've got basil and lime, salt, pepper, garlic, chicken broth, fire roasted tomatoes, olive oil, veggies, pasta, and Parmesan. So these one-pot meals have to be my favorite because it only dirties one dish. So I just put all of my veggies in there to saute. I added in a can of fire roasted tomatoes, just stirred it around. And then this basil actually came from one of my good friend's garden. So I loved getting to add that fresh basil in there, a little squeeze of lime juice. And then once it's got boiling, then it's time to add your noodles. Now, I did have to kind of work at it to get all the noodles down in the broth. I probably could have cut them in half, but you know, to each his own. Do what you want to do. Here's the great thing, guys. 8 minutes. Only 8 minutes for this to cook. It's amazing. I did put a drizzle of olive oil because I didn't want the noodles to stick together. But while it was cooking, I put the lid on and it was cooking. I went ahead and chopped up some salad. I really like to mix romaine with spinach so that you still get the crunch and multiple types of greens. And here you go, 8 minutes later, look at that deliciousness. I poured in some frozen, actually it was frozen Parmesan cheese, mixed it up into creamy goodness. And look at this, only 24 minutes to have an amazingly delicious dinner on the table. So, due to poor life choices, just kidding, I am about to make dinner in my swimsuit. But for real, so I laid the baby down because the big kids want to be playing the sprinkler, and I had this genius idea that I don't regret, that I would play with them in the sprinkler. However, the baby is in my bedroom asleep, and that is also where all of my clothes are. So I either have to wake him up or cook in a swimsuit. We'll see what happens. All right, in the middle of contemplation, he woke up anyway. So here I am, showered and dressed and cooking dinner. Not really cooking though, let me show you what I mean. Okay, tonight I am gonna make some form of taco salad. So I'm gonna chop up a bunch of lettuce, throw in, I like to mix the spinach with the lettuce. Then I do a bell pepper, a little cucumber, probably some frozen corn. Gonna throw in some kidney beans and some black beans, and then I'm gonna make a homemade taco type of dressing. So let's get to chopping. So here we go. I just grab some lettuce and I just get to chopping. I usually cut big pieces first and then I'll discard the end, and then I just kind of go crazy with it and just chop it into a bunch of little pieces. I actually grew up being taught to tear lettuce. That's like a thing, tear versus chop. But then I cut up the bell pepper and the cucumber into some small pieces. And you guys, seriously, I make the funniest faces when I cut. Like, what in the world? I guess I just don't want to cut my fingers. And here I'm going to strain the beans. If you are looking for a YouTube channel with a mom with a perfectly clean kitchen and sink, I am sorry, but you have come to the wrong place. Here is the real life of dishes in the sink as I'm straining. Now we're gonna just add in some sweet corn. I went ahead and cut an avocado as well. And look at this delicious salad. Loaded with veggies, loaded with protein, loaded with flavor. And now we're gonna make some yummy dressing to go with the taco salad. There's all the spices, cumin, garlic, onion, paprika, oregano, and chili powder. And then we're gonna do half and half Greek yogurt, and I just had to whip up some mayonnaise real fast because I realized I was out. So the yogurt here is great because it has probiotic benefits, gonna help you digest your food, and it's just good to get those probiotics in your diet. And then the other half is gonna be mayonnaise. It's gonna add some great flavor and just a good consistency. I started by whisking the mayonnaise and sour cream. You just want to do half and half. So you could do half a cup of each, or a cup of each, or a fourth of a cup of each. That part is up to you. Then I just added in the cumin and the chili powder, paprika, garlic powder, and oregano. And then I mixed all that together. Now the silly thing is that I realized I needed to add milk to thin it out, and I ended up putting it in a jar. And you guys, I should have just done that from the front. If you are doing this, put everything in a jar first, not in a bowl, because I dirtied more dishes than I needed to, which was ridiculous. But there we go. The dressing was made. Pouring it over the salad is just a beautiful, beautiful thing, and mixing it all together is just super delicious. So you know, like those little tiny baby chips at the end of every chip bag? Well, I like to save those for things like this. So I took all the little tiny baby chips and put them in the bottoms of the bowl first, and then I just served the salad right on top to make a form of taco salad. 23 minutes later, dinner was ready. So there we go. In less than 25 minutes, that was so fast. And honestly, I was really interrupted by my two youngest, and I kept having to stop. And I was tempted to stop the timer, but then I was like, no, I want it to be real life, because maybe you have the kitchen all to yourself and you have all the time in the world, or maybe you're like me and you have lots of interruptions. So even with interruptions, this whole meal took less than 25 minutes to get it on the plates, on the table, and like ready to eat. Tonight I'm gonna make some teriyaki noodles with these rice ramen noodles that I got at Costco. And it's really healthy, it's really easy, like so easy. So I just started by browning some ground beef in my pan and pulling out some frozen veggies. I got sugar snap peas, the vegetable stir fry, and some broccoli. I just piled on tons of veggies and cooked it around for a little bit. I had some cabbage, I threw in that as well, and then I just poured some water on top and put the lid on so that the vegetables can steam and cook until they're softened. Meanwhile, I started a pot of water to boil so that I can get the noodles ready. I love these ramen noodles. They're gluten-free, they're ready in 4 minutes, they're high in protein, and they have very clean ingredients. Here's what they look like before you cook them. And like always, I have a little helper in the kitchen, always at my feet. But I put in about 10, I believe, for our family, of these. They're called rice cakes into the water. I had to kind of work to get them all underneath the water, but we managed just fine. After only 1 minute of cooking, the instructions say to use a fork to kind of break apart the noodles so that they don't just all cook together as one solid chunk. And then after the total of 4 minutes, they were in fact tender and ready to strain. Little Missy is getting all the bowls ready in the middle of the kitchen floor while I'm still cooking. Meanwhile, I went ahead and poured over some toasted sesame oil. This is what's called a finishing oil. And then I poured in some organic teriyaki sauce with the noodles. I also, after stirring it around, I felt like it wasn't quite enough. So I also poured some in the pan that had the vegetables and the meat. And there you go. Look at those amazing noodles. 36 minutes and dinner was ready and on the table. And I like to be a little festive and added some toasted sesame seeds on top. And me and my husband usually like to spice things up, so I added some organic sriracha from Sprouts. It is super delicious.
And tonight I'm going to make chicken noodle soup. So I'm chopping up the carrots right now. We're supposed to put onion in, but my mom already chopped it up for me. My mom said she wants me to cut them in strips, but I wanted to cut them in circles, very skinny, so they would be good to cook. We also put out some frozen green beans and corn to put in the soup later, but I hope they still survive because I like eating them all.
All right, right now we're just waiting. What else in there?
Have onion.
Onion.
And carrot. Chicken broth.
Yeah.
Sliced tomatoes.
A can of diced tomatoes.
Diced salt and thyme.
All right, and then we're just waiting for it to come to a boil. Whoa!
I came back and I didn't know what happened.
It's boiling so much. All right, time to put in our veggies and our noodles. All right, and that's it. Just waiting for 11 to 13 minutes.
We didn't put the chicken.
Oh, we forgot about the chicken. Put the chicken in there. I really hope that y'all enjoyed this video. I love sharing easy and healthy meals that can help you get dinner on the table in a really, really quick kind of way, because I know I need those kind of recipes in my life. I really hope this video helped. If it did, make sure and like this video, because if you like a video, then come on guys, like the video, help a mama out. I want to grow this channel because I want to share what it looks like to live a healthy lifestyle, and that you don't have to have everything absolutely perfect. You can do it if you're busy. You can do it if you have a tight budget, that it is possible. And that is my passion. That is my heart, to get the word out, to share what we do as a family, to help you and empower you to make those healthy lifestyle choices. Until next time, have a blessed day.